Hello, I am back with a new video and welcome to my channel. And in this video, this is a read with me / vlog, and I hope you enjoy the journey as I read the two books that I'm currently reading, and hopefully I will have read them by the end of January. And this one I will have read by the end of January because I'm currently getting through it at a fair pace. And that is Harry Potter and the Half-Blood Prince. I am on page 163 and it's currently the 3rd of January and I started on the 1st, and that is a mix of the audiobook for this as well as the physical reading, which I occasionally do if I have time to relax or manage to get time in the bath. And the other one I haven't really got very far through yet, and that is The Testament by Margaret Atwood. And so far I am only on to page 14, which is chapter 3. I don't think much of it yet because I haven't got far, so I don't really have any thoughts yet, but I'll probably will soon enough. I'll probably come across something. And with my Harry Potter book, I'm loving it so far, like I always would. I'm up to the House of Gaunt part, which is chapter 10, and I have recently got past the Half-Blood Prince notes in one of the Potions books from like 50 years ago, and it's just as interesting and fascinating as last time. And I'm just up to the part where Harry's getting his first lesson with Dumbledore, and I am excited to get through that again because I'm sure there's things that I've forgotten about, because there always is. And when it comes to the part where has it come to the part? No, it hasn't come to the part where Hagrid finds out they haven't taken his lessons, but it did mention it, and I'm cringing at the thought of him finding out, which he does, because they're doing it, starting the newts this year. So I look forward to getting to that bit. So I'll wait and see how I get along with these two books, and I will update you very soon, and I'll see you then. Hello, I'm back, and I am enjoying The Testament so far. I'm past 100 pages and I have been shocked by this so far. It's entertaining. I quite like the pace and the different characters. It's very clear who is who throughout the book. They have very different voices and lives, and it's really good so far. I'm enjoying it. I quite like the young girl, and there's another girl in here as well, but she lives inside the regime, which is also interesting to me as well, because they've both grown up during the regime, but one in and one out, which is interesting to see the thoughts and things. There's young girls that are grown up in completely different ways, so I enjoyed the look and like to get through that more today if I get the chance. And I have also managed to get to page 291 of Harry Potter and the Order of the Phoenix. I'm enjoying this as I always do, and as always I always quite like Professor Slughorn in this. He's an interesting character. He's slightly odd, but to me he's always grey area, which is interesting. He's neither bad nor completely good, but like he's always in it for his own interests. But I mean, who isn't really? But it's interesting that as well, because as a character he's got, I don't know, he's just the most interesting, and I don't know how to describe his character. It's just he's got the most kind of depth to him, I suppose, in a sense. But I'll update later when I get through some more of this, because I've just been using the audiobook here and there on 1.7 speed, so it doesn't take too long to get through the Harry Potter books with that speed. And I have 2 books that have come in the post that I ordered, and this one is One by One by Ruth Way, and my partner got us this because he knew I was interested in it, and it wasn't a Christmas present, he got it after Christmas, but I was going to use his Amazon Prime to buy it, but then he paid for it without me knowing, so I look forward to this soon as well. And the one that I bought, it's just a second-hand copy from Amazon, and that is The Other People by C.J. Tudor. And I don't mind getting second-hand books by any means. I often buy them, if I can, second-hand, preferably because I can get them really cheap on Amazon if I buy them there. Because I can, like, the new ones can cost, the second-hand ones that are in good condition, called new, are about £5 to £6, and I can pay less than £4 sometimes, depending on the book. If I get it like acceptable, like used but acceptable, and only pay like £2.80 for the postage, so I don't really mind. It saves having to pay like £6 or £7 on the Amazon Prime one, so I don't really mind too much. I do have this on my phone as well, but I haven't read it on there. I did use Google Play credits that I had from doing surveys to pay for that, and I just didn't touch it because it was on my phone. I don't like to read on my phone, it's just horrible. I'm sick of even reading on my Kindle because that's what I've been doing for the past like 3 months. So it's nice to just have actual physical books in my hand for a change, because you tend to miss it, and then after so long I miss the books that I normally read on my Kindle. So I will eventually get back to the Kindle, but not yet. I'm happy with the books that I've got so far. I do have a couple of books on my Kindle to read, but I'll probably do that later in the year, to be honest, and I'll update later when I've read some more of these too. Hello, I am back, and I am a few more pages into this, and there's a woman in this who didn't start off in the regime of Gilead and was forced into it by the looks of it, and she is responsible, or at least responsible, for the death of 2 people, and she seems to be in league with an officer in the book, and I'm unsure of her intentions in the book, to be honest. I'm not entirely sure what she's trying to go for. I don't know where it's going to go on her part, because she was forced into the regime as an adult, so I'd have thought she'd be trying to get out of it somehow, but I'm not sure. She's very harsh. She's quite, I don't know, she's something, but the way that she is, she's quite rigid, I suppose, and I don't understand her yet. I hope to understand her a little bit more getting further into this, but so far I don't like how she's doing things, I suppose. But I'll update later on when I find out more about her. I'm not really a fan of her specifically, but I'll find out more about it later on as I read on, and I'll see you later. I am back, and I have read a few more pages of the Testament. I am finding a little bit more about the woman who was forced into Gilead and I think I'm getting an idea of her intentions, maybe, if I'm thinking the right kind of thing. I think she might be wanting to get revenge on the system in some way or another. I think she's biding her time, doing as she's told and working for them until she can do that, I think, because she was forced into the system. She was beaten and psychologically, I think, damaged a little bit from some of the things that the Tommy had put up with. And I also found out a little bit more about the teenager in this one. She is the baby that escaped, basically, the poster girl of the system, and they want her back, basically. And the woman who was forced into the regime is part of that plot, and they're interlinked into getting her back in. And I think that's what they're going to try and do. And between all three females that will follow, eventually I think they're all going to be at heads with each other and see how things go and see how far each will go to for what they believe in and what they want to get out of the scenarios that they're each in. And I'm still enjoying it though, so I still plan to carry on reading this if I can read some more tonight. And I am currently onto a part where there's the young girl, so I'm curious as to what she's gonna say next and what her plot and story is next, because she's interesting and I like her quite a bit. And for a Harry Potter book, I've read quite a bit over the past few days. I've read 60 pages, I think, over the past 2 days via the audiobook that I have on my Audible app, and I have less than 200 pages left on this, so this will definitely be read before the end of the month at the pace that I'm reading it, or at least listening to it. And my partner hates me listening to these on audio because I have them on 1.7 speed, and when I put them down on the standard speed, it sounds like Stephen Fry is talking really slow, as if you're really stupid and can't understand a word he's saying. But I'm used to him being at a higher talking speed, and it gets us through the audiobooks a lot quicker, in all fairness. So that's not a problem, and I can understand perfectly what he's saying. And I look forward to this because I'm on to chapter 20 so far, and I've just got past the bit where Ron gets poisoned, and I look forward to being reminded of what goes on in this book, because I often forget things that happen throughout the series, and I look forward to that. And I'll update you in the next couple of days, depending how much I read, and I'll update again later on. Back, I have listened to a little bit more of The Half-Blood Prince, and I'm up to the chapter where Aragog has died, and Hagrid wants to hold a funeral for him and has invited Harry, Ron and Hermione to go to the funeral and support him during the night, which is risky within itself. I'm enjoying it still so far. I look forward to getting through this further, and it's coming up to the scene in the movie which I really like, when Harry takes the lucky potion and he gets cocky and absolutely hysterical in the book, in the movie, and I think it's the one scene that they do better in the movie than they do in not in the book, and I look forward to getting to that. And I am also enjoying the Testament still, and I am growing more convinced that the woman who's in Gilead, who was there from pretty much the start, is working for the other side. She's not entirely working for Gilead, I don't think anyways. And one of the sources that the teenagers' side has from Mayday is a high-ranking woman. So I've put 2 and 2 together there, and I'm assuming it's her. I'm assuming she's that leak. And also that teenage girl is Nicole. She was the one that managed to escape as a baby, and they're basically asking her to get into the system as a spy pretty much, but there's no guarantee that it will work. And she has to pose as a homeless girl to get in, and I want to see how that works out for her. And yet to read more of the young... Oh, and the young girl is getting married off. I don't know if I mentioned that in my last update, but she is, but I haven't heard much since. And I look forward to see how the young girl is intertwined in all of this more in comparison to the teenager and the woman, because there's a links between the teenager and the woman, but not so much with the young girl. So I look forward to reading a bit more of this tonight, just to see what happens, if I get anywhere, and I will update later on, and I'll see you then. Back, and it's been a few days, and I have finished both the Testaments and Harry Potter and the Half-Blood Prince, and I obviously knew that the aunt would have something to do with Jade leaving Gilead, and obviously she did, and obviously Commander Judd knew that she was there, or at least he figured out she was there after a while. And he is a murderer. He kills his wives, and he wanted Jade to be his trophy for them to end up dead herself. And then another aunt, I think, figured out that Jade was there, who was baby Nicole, the poster child, and she said that she needed to leave. And eventually they did get out, which is cool. But that was after the aunt put a piece of information into her arm. She actually cut her arm and put it in, and essentially for the downfall of Gilead. I figured she would do something like that, to be honest, and in reading some of the reviews, or at least one review, said that it is quite predictable. You can see what's coming, but it doesn't take away from my experience of the book. I still enjoyed it, even though I could foresee some of the things that were going to happen, or at least think about it a little bit. But I still enjoyed the book, even with that, which is great for me. It's still got 5 stars on Goodreads. It was a very exciting read for me, and it was my first of the year, and it got us excited to read again, to be honest, because I haven't been reading too much last year, and it got us excited to read, which I am very, very pleased about. And I also managed to finish Harry Potter and the Half-Blood Prince, and people say this is the one where nothing happens, which is in part true to a certain degree, but there is an overarching story behind the nothing happening, really. Obviously there's the Horcruxes. You find out about those. You find out about, well, you kind of know that Snape's, well, you don't really know that Snape's a double agent, but find out in this one that he's the double agent, but he's on Dumbledore's side. He's on Dumbledore's orders. He's going back and forth, giving false information and giving information to the Order and things. But you don't really find that out specifically, but you think he's a double agent for their side possibly. But he does it for the Order, for the good side really. So that's exciting, of course. And Dumbledore's death in this isn't the thing that makes us tear up every time. It's the funeral, which always makes me more emotional. And again, I enjoy this. Every time I read it, I always enjoy it, and I look forward to getting on to the next one, to be honest. And I have already started my next read, which is An Idiot Abroad. I'm only 30 pages in, but I'm enjoying it all the same. I was debating on whether leaving it till next month for a challenge that I want to do, where I read my average page count from last year for the month, which would be 21 pages. Well, it's 20.8, but I rounded up to 21. But I'm gonna read. But I've started reading this now, and I find it funny, so I'm gonna finish this month, and then figure out what I want to read next after that. But I hope you've enjoyed the video today, and comment down below if you've read any of these books, what you think of them, what you're currently reading, and thanks for watching.